I got it.
Tam Telling Tales.
I got it.
Tam Telling Tales.
I got it.
Tam Telling Tales.
I got it. Tongue twister. Say it real fast one time.
Tam Telling Tales. Tam Telling Tales.
Hey everybody, it is Tam Telling Tales, and I am here with a special episode of Book Banter with Tam Telling Tales. You guys, I have the incredible author Beverly Jenkins with me on today, and you guys know that I'm one of the sponsors of the EyeCU Reading Literary Experience powered by BRAE that is coming to Detroit on Saturday, August the 23rd. 2025 at the Corner Ballpark, right in the heart of Detroit. And she is one of our featured authors. I am super excited to be here with her and to have some fun conversation. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, tell you a little bit about her, and then we are going to take some more time to learn about her through her. Okay? Beverly Jenkins is a trailblazing, award-winning author, widely celebrated as the queen of historic Black romance. With a career spanning over 3 decades, she's captivated readers with her richly researched novels that center Black love, resilience, and history. From post-Civil War stories to contemporary sagas, Jenkins masterfully blends romance with culture and education. Her works, including fan favorites like Indigo, Forbidden, and Bring On the Blessings, the romance writer of America's Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award winner is affectionately known as Miss Bev. She remains a beloved figure in the literary world for her storytelling, wit, and unapologetic celebration of Black heritage. Everyone, welcome to the show, Miss Beverly Jenkins.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here.
I'm honored to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. I am a part of EyeCU Reading and Social Network, and it was many years ago that we actually read your book.
Okay.
And everyone was a complete fan.
Yeah.
Right? And let me tell you a little bit about our book club.
Okay.
Because, see, sometimes they act like they don't like historic fiction way back in the day. Because we've been around for 15 years.
Right.
So they would pretend like they didn't like historic fiction and stuff, right? Oh, but then we picked up Indigo.
Yeah.
And that sold. If the ones who weren't already sold,
Yeah.
they were sold.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's if you look at what the media has presented us as our stories, you get a lot of trauma, you get a lot of pain. And I try to do stories about everyday life. I mean, even though we were dealing with, when they gutted Reconstruction in 1876, and we had the Jim Crow laws, and we had the Red Summer of 1919, we were still having birthday parties.
Mm-hmm.
We were still going to college.
And falling in love.
We were still falling in love. Because if they weren't falling in love, we wouldn't be here.
Okay.
So I do what I call edutainment, entertainment and education, to give you a great love story with very, very positive heroes and heroines.
Yes.
And a little bit of history, too. I've got a bib list in the back of each of the books if you want to learn more about whatever setting the book is set in. So I'm having fun. I've been at this, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my, I think, 4th generation of readers. So y'all keep buying, I keep writing.
Listen, and we will. Well, listen, edutainment. Is that how you say that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, we're going to do a little edutainment ourselves really quickly with you.
Okay.
Okay, so this will be educational for us, but it'll be fun and entertaining
Okay.
as well, I think.
Okay.
So it's just a quick game of preferences.
Okay.
So you'll tell me which one you prefer.
Okay.
One or the other.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, Miss Beverly, you're from Detroit, right?
East Side.
That was my and I knew you was from the east side. That was my first question. West side or east side?
East side. Yep. Gratiot and Sheridan, Warren, Field, Forest. Went to Jones Elementary.
Which high school? Which high school?
Went to Cass.
I went to Renaissance.
Okay. There was no Renaissance when the earth was cooling when I went to high
Oh,
school.
wow. Oh, wow. Okay. See, I'm West Side girl, a Renaissance girl. But you know what? I love the East, and I love Cass Tech.
Yeah.
I actually went there for a little piece of summer school, but,
Yeah.
there's that. Okay. So here's my next question.
Okay.
Virginia Slims or Newports?
Cools.
Cool. I took you
I
for a
quit.
Virginia Slim.
No, oh, girl, please. I quit smoking in January after 56 years.
You just quit.
I quit cold turkey. I had to. So
Okay. How's that going, though?
it's going okay. I mean, I'm dealing. The craving is still there. It's always going to be there from what I'm hearing. But man, I was stupid. I have the flu. I couldn't sleep because I couldn't breathe. But I'm still smoking, right? So I said, you know something, self, this is stupid. And I quit the next morning.
Not you called yourself stupid.
That is, well, I was stupid. I mean,
Okay.
you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Okay.
So,
well, listen,
you know.
I'm going to let you do it. I would never dare call you that. Yeah, I'll let you. Okay. Mama raised me better. Okay.
I appreciate that.
When you're writing, pen and paper or a computer
Both.
keyboard?
Both.
Okay.
When I first started, it was mostly pen and paper because this was, back when the earth cooled too, before computers, right? We had these little word processors. And now it's all screen.
On screen.
It's all screen.
Okay.
But sometimes, if you get stuck, I don't believe in writer's block, but, there are sometimes you get stuck and you're not real sure what or where you're going to go with the story. Mm-hmm. Changing to pen and paper uses a different part of your brain.
Okay.
So sometimes that sparks the answer to your question of how you're going to get yourself out of the corner that you have written yourself into. So both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a pen and paper girl. I love to just still write stuff down.
Yeah,
So.
okay. That's all right.
Gotcha. So would you rather research first or write your plot first?
It depends because each book is different. And each book is fueled by different stuff. So sometimes it's the research and sometimes it's the story.
Okay.
With Indigo, I was looking for something else for a different project, and I ran across a quote from a formerly enslaved guy in a book called Bullwhip Days. And he said he knew a man named Wyatt who was free, who had sold himself into slavery for the love of a woman. Stopped my heart. That's love.
Listen.
Because, she could have been sold the next day, or 5 minutes later.
And he just been sitting right there.
But, romance is we call it the HEA, the happily ever after. And there was no HEA in slavery. So the question to me after seeing this was, how do I write this story? So I wrote the story about their daughter and figured out how she was able to escape slavery. Wound up in Michigan. So I got to do the Underground Railroad in Michigan. So, but with different stories, it's different stuff. And if I get to a part in the story where I don't really know what I'm doing or what I need to look at, I'll stop. I'll do the research and then go back to writing. And sometimes I was writing, must have been Rebel, I think, because it's in Louisiana. And I like to put as much real stuff in my stories as I can. Mm-hmm. So, at night, you hear these frog sounds, right? So I'm like, okay, so what kind of frogs are in Louisiana? So I go down the rabbit hole, and I'm looking at frog sounds, and I'm down there. Sometimes you get down the rabbit hole, and you're down there for 2 days. You don't know what you're looking. You forgot what you were down there for. And while I was down there, I ran across a brother who owned a circus in 1897. And it came through Michigan. It was a circus for the logging camps. So I'm like, okay, I ain't got time to write about you. I'm down here looking for frog sounds, So I never did use the frog sounds. I wound up doing something else. But yeah, it's the research is fun. It's fun.
I can imagine. That's part of the reason why I love historic fiction so much, because it's great storytelling, but it's educational.
Yeah.
The things that they didn't have time to teach you when you were in school,
Or didn't want to teach you when you were in school. That part.
Okay. I'm always so thankful that I came up at a time where my teachers looked like me and they cared about our stories as much as we needed to hear them, and they shared them with us. Yeah. And sometimes it's a little disheartening when I know that that's not the case for so many of our kids nowadays. Yeah. But we'll talk about that a little bit later, because I still got some more of my preference questions.
Go right ahead, dear.
Okay, here we go. Would you rather be at a book signing at a library or a panel discussion at a conference?
Oh, gosh. Both, because each has its own vibe. Libraries are a lot more intimate. And sometimes you get people neighborhood folks who can't travel to a big conference. That was one of the one of the joys during the pandemic. Because we couldn't travel. So a lot of the interactions with the readers was through Zoom.
Yeah. Which
was great because, you have people who are disabled or people who aren't able to come. But then 2 weeks ago, I was at the first Black Romance Book Fest in Atlanta.
Yes.
And I got two numbers. I was told there was 1,500 Black women, and then I was told there was 1,800. That's a whole lot of Black women.
A whole lot.
I signed for, I don't know how long. I must have signed, 9,000 books. I took 9,000 pictures. It was like, I went into the restaurant. You would have thought I was Beyonce.
Because
they were coming up out the floor. I said, can y'all let me eat, please? Let me eat.
Listen.
Okay, Miss Bev.
You are our literary Beyonce, ma'am.
Girl. I'm just a little colored girl from the east side of Detroit.
I like how you said that, too. Tomato. Okay?
Yeah.
They mean the same thing to us.
Yeah, I know. So there's advantages in both venues, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. So, for your romance, do you like a slow burn or instant spark?
I like a slow burn.
I know you do.
I like the slow burn.
Yes, I knew that answer.
Because that, for me, is a lot more interesting. And also, when I was growing up, it was all slow burns. Didn't nobody jump in bed with you had just met you. No. Come see me in 6 months.
Okay.
So.
A little piece of 9.
Yeah.
Maybe. Throw a little extra 3 in there.
There you go. So, slow burn.
Okay. Enemies to lovers or friends to lovers?
Enemies to lovers. A lot more dynamics with that. And enemies to lovers, and I also love A Marriage of Convenience, too. So.
Okay. So, characters. Kara Lee from Night Song or Dr. Vivica from Vivid?
Both. It's like trying to pick your best child.
I know. Now, see, in other circumstances, I will make you pick one or you had a consequence.
Oh, okay.
But I could never do that to you.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Well, and Vivid was supposed to be, for those who are watching, Vivid is my, it's set on the western side of the state in one of the all-black towns that were set up on the western side of the state back before Michigan was even a state. And it's my tribute to the 19th century African-American female doctors, which we know very, very little about. She was supposed to be book 3. Indigo was supposed to be book 2. Indigo wound up being book 3 because Dr. Vivica Lancaster did not want to be number 3.
Okay.
I want to be second. So her book got to be second and Indigo got to be third. So I choose them both, Kara, because I got to tell a really great story with her for the Great Exodus of 1879, which was the first mass exodus of Black folks out of the South, not to be confused with the Great Migration of 1900. These folks did not move north, they moved west. They moved west to places like Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa, Colorado, someone so far as west as California. which is why, you have these little small towns sometimes on the plains. Where these black people come from? Why are there black
Right.
people in in
Nebraska.
Nebraska. That's because they came with the Exodus. So I got to tell the Exodus with Carol Lee's story. So she means a lot to me, and I got to do the Buffalo Soldiers too. So yeah.
Okay, so historical accuracy or historical reimagining?
Accuracy. I don't have to make this shit up. Our history. Sorry. Our history. is-
Just so you know, it's allowed.
Okay,
You're good. You're
okay,
fine.
Okay, good. No, don't tell me that. Our history is so rich and so deep and so rooted in this country that it is not necessary to make it up. You just got to tell the truth.
Yep.
And that's what I try and do.
Yeah. Strong-willed heroine or a quietly powerful heroine?
Both. Both. Because you want to mix it up. You don't want people to say, oh, she wrote that book last time. Or, she wrote that book 3 books ago. Same girl, different name, So I try and give a different flavor and a different personality. It's hard to do after 30 books. But, you can still keep yourself honest by letting the characters lead as opposed to you trying to put boundaries on your characters.
I like it. And this is your last question. It's really easy. Tam Telling Tales or Tam Telling Tales?
Say it again.
Tam Telling Tales
Okay.
or Tam Telling Tales?
You.
Hey, there we go.
I don't know.
So everybody, if you are watching us or if you are listening, we are here with the phenomenal author Beverly Jenkins, you guys. And she is one of the featured authors at the EyeCU Reading Literary Experience powered by BRAE. She is also one of the favorites of our book club, and we're here talking with her about her. So no particular book, because she has so many that we would be here for a very long time.
Yes, we would be.
But, I'm always fascinated with the stories behind the stories. Okay. It sometimes makes the story that's in the book even better. I get an opportunity to talk to a lot of authors because when we do our book club meetings, we always try to incorporate a interview with the author of the book. And so sometimes there's these questions that we have and we're like, I wonder, or we're trying to interpret something one way and somebody thinks something and somebody else thinks it's something different. Right. But when you have the opportunity to talk to the person who put the pen to the paper, it just all becomes clear.
Right.
It makes you want to read the books over again and be like, you know what? I didn't see it the same. I'm going to read it again.
Yeah.
And we do that a lot. And you definitely are one of those authors that makes us think and makes us sit back and have really in-depth conversations about ourselves, about our history. And we thank you for that.
That's my job.
And we appreciate you doing your job so well.
Appreciate that.
So, a few more questions I got for you. Why don't you take us down just a little journey from the very beginning of your writing career? When you decided that you wanted to start writing and when you jumped into it.
I had no plans to be a writer. I was as an editor of my elementary school newspaper in the 4th grade. Jones Elementary over on the East Side.
Come on, East Side.
But my thing were books. All I ever wanted to do was work in a library. The Mark Twain Library on Gratiot and Burns was my neighborhood library. It was probably, 12, 13 blocks from the house. And after I got my chores done, everybody knew where I was going. I was walking to the library, right? Or as you used to say back then, the library. I'm going to the library. And I'd bring home as many books as my skinny little arms could carry, and I was there every Saturday. So my thing was libraries, and I was working in a library at the time. Was when after marriage, and hubby and I had moved to Ypsi, and I was working at Park Davis in Ann Arbor. And Park Davis started in Detroit. It was one of the first big pharma companies. And they'd moved to Ann Arbor, and I was working at their library. And one of the women I was working with had just gotten published. And she had written a sweet romance. Sweet romance is no love scenes on the page. Ooh. You know, fade to black, that kind of stuff.
Oh.
I can't read those.
Oh, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah. And so we were celebrating her. And I was writing a romance for me after work, because this was probably, I don't know, 93 or 94. And there was no real mass market romance for us.
Yes.
Okay. And so I was just writing the story for me because there was no place to get it published. But anyway, so I'm telling my girlfriend at work, we're talking about her book. I was telling her about this book that I was writing for me. And she said, well, bring it in. She wanted to see it. So I brought it in, and she said, you know, you need to get this published. And I'm like, where? Where am I going to get this published?
Me,
right.
this story.
Right. With this book, with these people. So I tell people this is her fault. She harassed me every day. Did you find an agent? Did you? So to make her shut up, I don't know how I found Vivian Stevens. And Vivian was Vivian started American Romance. She's a black woman. She was an editor at Dell for the first Candlelights, which were those little bitty ones that they used to sell in the grocery stores.
Okay.
And she had gotten out of publishing. She was also the first black editor at Harlequin. She also started RWA, which was Romance Writers of America. She did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So she had gotten out of editorial, and she had a small literary agency. Now, how I found her address, I have no idea. It's been so long, I don't even know. I don't remember. But I found her address, and to shut Laverne up at work, I mailed her my little raggedy manuscript.
Come on, raggedy manuscript.
It was awful. It was
Yeah.
awful.
Okay, so was it like the pages was bent up a little bit?
No, I mean,
No,
it was just raggedy in the sense that I didn't really know what I was doing. I was writing just for me.
Okay.
I wasn't writing for
Okay.
publication.
Oh, okay. So you didn't dog ear the pages. Got it.
So, it's like, it's a story, or what I thought was a story. But she called me, and I was working the reference desk there, and she called me at the desk about 5 days later and said, I want to represent you. I'm like, what?
Look at God.
Okay. Yeah, right. So working in the library was my dream job. So when all of these rejections started coming in, because as a first-time author, you're going to get a ton. I got enough rejections to paper this whole building. But I didn't care, because I was already in my dream job. Who cares about a rejection letter, right? I'm in a library.
Okay.
So
The library.
I'm in the library, right?
Okay.
And she didn't even tell me, probably most of the rejections that we got. But it was one thing they kept saying. They kept saying, great writing, but. Great writing, but. And the but had to do with the subject matter. Got a 19th century story starring black people that wasn't about slavery.
They
And
couldn't
New York-
fathom the idea.
And New York has boxes for everything, publishing. There was no box for that. Free black people in Kansas after the great exodus of 1879. What even is that? But like I said, I didn't care, because I was coming to my dream job. I had my hat on. I'm in my library. I'm good.
And you wrote it for you.
But then on June 3rd, which was my late husband's birthday, he was alive back then, I got the call from New York. One of the women who had worked for Vivian, getting old, one of the women who had worked for Vivian was now the executive editor at Avon Books, which back then was the largest romance publisher. And Vivian had sent her the manuscript. And she said, yeah, we want to buy this. So the rest, as they say, is history, So they kept sending me contracts. I kept writing books. They kept sending me more contracts. I kept writing books. So now 60 books later.
I'm so glad. I am so glad. And you want to know what stood out to me as a kid about your book covers.
Uh-huh.
And that is how they look like those other books that I didn't read them, but you would see them, in airports and stores and everything. And you just always equated those type of covers to just them.
Right, yeah.
They were the only ones who had book covers like that.
No, but we did too.
And then I saw women and men who looked like my aunties and uncles, my mama and cousins and everything. And it just really sparked an interest. And goodness, I wonder what those characters are like.
I had readers who said, because, black women, we read everything. Mm-hmm. The Pew survey, 10 years ago or so said, the person most likely to read a book is a black woman. And so black women read romance. I read romance. I read everything. Science fiction. I'm a big fantasy reader. But they said when they saw Night Song, which was my first book, in the grocery store or at Barnes & Noble or Walden Books, this was before Borders. One woman said, I looked at the cover. She said, I opened the back up to see what the author looked like. Because that's what they did, right?
Yeah.
She said, and I saw you were a black woman. She said, I sat on the floor in the bookstore right then and started reading.
I can believe it.
So, my readers I love y'all so much.
Aw.
I do, because I wouldn't be here without my readers.
Mm-hmm.
And
You've given so many people an escape. And we get to see us.
Yeah.
And like you said, without the trauma, and I am a person who likes historic fiction, and you can put a slave in my book, know. However, I recognize that our stories are more than that.
Yeah.
And I recognize how good it feels to just be reminded of our humanity.
Yeah.
How much like everybody else we really truly are.
And our values, and most of my historicals are about the enslaved and what they did after. Because
everything
if you look at American history, slaves were freed in 1865. Next time we show up is in 1965 riot-in at Watts. So you got that whole generation of, back to my science fiction kind of thing, where the Borg took us off the planet, and there's no history, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened in that 100 years?
Yeah.
We built colleges. We were sheriffs. We were outlaws. We were in Louisiana helping rebuild New Orleans. Mm-hmm. We were, girl, don't get me started. We were doing things. We were doing things that everybody else was doing. We were having children. We were having marriages. We were,
loving each other.
Mm-hmm. With a fierceness. My books also are a tribute to black men. Because they don't get their flowers. They've been fighting wars on behalf of this stupid ass country since the French and Indian Wars, before the United States was even America. Mm-hmm. Black men were putting their lives on the line. And they aren't recognized for that. The 9th and 10th Cavalry out west were the most decorated cavalry units. They were getting hand-me-downs from Custer and the 7th Cavalry. They were putting up the telegraph poles, no telephone, Beverly, not yet, telegraph poles, escorting, stagecoaches that didn't want black soldiers keeping the Indians from killing their asses, So I want to show the breadth and the weight of black men. You know, they are more than the stereotypes that America would have us believe, them believe, and the greater culture to believe. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We need those stories. We need to hear those versions.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you know that not every, you know, I don't know, you know, all of us have, you know, in the church, and every church has got that old couple. They've been married for 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
They still holding hands, coming out to church, going to the car.
At my church, it's the Posleys. Yep.
See,
The Posleys.
you know, and you know, nobody writes about that love. Brenda Jackson will tell you the story of a woman who, a white editor who told her there was no such thing as black love. And Brenda was like, hello. Brenda's now on her like 125th book.
Okay.
While we sitting here, Brenda done
Legend.
wrote 2 books.
A legend as well.
Yeah.
And how
So,
dare you tell people about what they know,
Yeah.
you know?
So that was one of the great things about the event in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any of these women there because they, you know, 2 generations from their mamas and their grandmamas who I write for, right, when I started out, when I was 40. But the energy and the fact that most of them there were self-published.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they did not, because there was no self-publisher when I was coming up. But the idea that they didn't have to wait for the gatekeepers. They were able to build their own gates, bring their own tables, bring their own chairs,
Yeah.
and tell their stories in their way. So I was proud, very, very proud.
And they were so glad to see you because afterwards, all you saw on the internet were videos and pictures from that event, and so many people talking about how glad they were to see you and to be able to give you your flowers.
Don't make mama cry.
Okay, but you have set the stage for so many authors to be able to do these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, and then there were also authors before me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sandra Kitt and Elsie Washington, who were, you know, the first,
Mm-hmm.
and Vivian. You know, so, you know, yeah, I'm glad to be one of the old hens, but you know, I want to recognize that it wasn't just me. You know, they opened the door for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it behooves me. How's that for a word?
Behooves. I say that. It behooves me.
To open the door for the young ones coming up behind me.
Yes,
Because you're
yes.
supposed to reach back. You're supposed to make the path wider. You're not supposed to say, I got mine, you get yours.
Yeah,
That ain't how it's supposed to
gatekeep.
work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
I like it.
I like it too.
So I said, I should have been in the building because they had a time.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. And we're in a day and age where we recognize that it's a lot of people that's not reading. So when you get to
Yes.
see us be in spaces where everyone is celebrating literacy, it is great because there's a lot of people who are not doing it.
Right.
Right. And now we're in the days where books are being banned.
Right.
Okay.
Books are being banned, but it's also, in some ways, a great time to be a black creative because of self-publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the Afrofuturistic stuff coming out.
Oh, yep.
You know, these young girls that are writing this fantasy going to put me in the poorhouse from buying their books because they're writing such good stuff.
They are.
And I have to tell them on social media, y'all need to stop. Y'all
Listen.
going to put mom in the poorhouse buying y'all books. So markets that were closed to us are now opening, and the young kids are now being able to get sci-fi for a little black girl from the east side of Detroit right now who maybe likes science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody writing for them. N.K. Jemisin's sister, who her Earth trilogy, 3 nebulas in a row. I mean, nobody has done that. And she's just, I'm like, she's such a wonderful person too, you know, and it's just, you know, it's all kind of black folks. Have you had Zigzag Claiborne on your show yet?
I have not.
You need
Well,
to
I'm gonna
have
make a
him.
note.
Yeah, he's science fiction. He's in Detroit, and he's so good, and
And he in
such
Detroit.
a nice guy too. Yeah,
Oh, we got to look him
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, we got to look him up.
Yeah, and he's on his second. He's got a self-published book that he came out, and he's got the second book is out now. It's either the second or the third book. He's doing so much I can't keep up with him. But yeah, I mean, and a lot of times kids don't read because they just haven't found the right book yet. Mm-hmm. That's my story.
Yep.
And I think if we could give them something that taps into who they want to be, or because sometimes kids can't be what they can't see or read.
Yeah. So when it comes to book bans,
Right.
Especially current day, when they talk about it, when I hear it, it's unsettling to me because I know that books in school was where I developed my love and appreciation for books.
Yeah.
And a lot of those books now are actually being banned. They're on the ban list. You can't find them in schools.
Yeah, in Michigan. Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, and it's stupid.
That
because they don't even know what they're banning.
Right.
They haven't read the books. It's this whole, we don't want our kids to feel bad. Well, we had to live through slavery.
Yeah. And how do you know that you feel good if you've never experienced bad? Is the question I would ask. It's okay to let people fall, bump their head, and feel the pain.
Right.
They need to feel it.
Yeah.
Because once they have healed, they know what that feels like too.
Right, yeah. And a lot of people are angry. A lot of them are angry that they haven't been given the whole story. Mm-hmm. The people who didn't know about the Tulsa massacre of 1921, who found out by watching HBO Watchmen, they're like, what is this?
Yeah.
This really happened? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I am appreciative of the school system that I came up in when I came up in it, because these were the things that I knew as a child.
Yeah.
All my teachers made sure
Right.
that it didn't matter what that textbook said. In addition to that, we're going to give you some enrichment.
Right.
Here's some other books for you to read, and we're going to talk about this.
Right.
But knowing that our kids is not getting that, I couldn't imagine being a black kid in America right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be.
Or a parent.
Or a parent. Tough.
It has to be difficult. But, it's up to us to forward that history. I know that there are places all over this country that are having African American History Saturday. And they're bringing kids into libraries and churches and community spaces and having history moments, for these kids.
Can I just tell you, some years back, let me tell you what I wanted to do. Like, if I had my dream job, I hit the lottery, money was no object, I wanted a summer school for black kids that was all black everything.
Yeah.
I mean, literature, math, science, phys ed. I wanted the whole shebang. That would just be so amazing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, we're the only one that can save ourselves. Mm-hmm. They ain't going to save us. We'll save ourselves.
Yep.
But we've always been our own savior, too.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a few white saviors, but we basically saved ourselves. Mm-hmm. We started public schools in the South after the Civil War. Like I said, we did the Exodus because, after the gutting of Reconstruction, when we had all these black men in Congress and in the Senate, and then the Jim Crow laws started coming up, and black folks was like, okay, we leaving. We dying in the fields. We're not staying here. And you had people, the white planters who had, suckered us into working for free again. We're like, no, you can't leave. You can't leave. Mm-hmm. We leaving.
We gone.
But they were lined up, wrote to the president that the white planters were lined up along the Mississippi with guns to keep these black folks from leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Douglass, of all people, well, Frederick had is the greatest orator of our race. His personal life was a mess.
A mess.
A hot mess.
Okay.
A hot mess.
Listen, and that hair. And I only say that because I know how much of a mess that personal life was. So that's why I'm going to say that.
Yeah,
But
it was a mess.
he was a good orator.
Yeah, but he was one of the people that was against the Exodus. He said that the South had made white Anglo-Saxons strong. It would do the same for black people. And right after that, in the Colored American, one of the newspapers, this black guy said, Frederick Douglass don't represent nobody but Frederick Douglass. Mm-hmm. Me and my family moving to Kansas.
Okay, stop playing with us, Frederick. You and that hair.
Right,
okay?
let's not get it
Move
twisted.
around.
We ain't staying here to die.
Mm-hmm.
But,
that's what's so great about the fiction that is inspired by history books.
Yeah.
Because you get to experience those types of tales.
Yeah.
Not just the straight textbook reading about things, but to throw a little extra in there and to learn all of those things about Frederick Douglass and make them very human.
Yeah, very human. Douglas's Women by who wrote that book? It's gonna come to me after I get home. But yeah, she it was a book. It was eye opening for me. I knew black women had problems with it from reading the history and the diaries and the letters and all of that. But that book is amazing. That book is amazing. And then you look at this whole thing with Bass Reeves. The deputy marshal from Indian Territory. He makes a cameo in one of my books. He was appointed by getting old. My brain is dying.
Be like that. It's not dying. It's sleep.
It's the sleep. It must be sleep. There you go.
Tad, that's all.
Isaac. Anyway, I'll come back to him. But anyway, there's a brother named Art Burton, and Art Burton is the authority on the Black West. I used a lot of his stuff for my books, and when they did the episodes of Bass Reeves on TV, you think they called him?
Of course not.
Nope. So they left a lot of stuff out and they made up stuff also. Mm-hmm. So like you were saying, that other history, when left in the hands of people who don't know the story, aren't going to tell the truth.
See what I'm saying?
Aren't going to tell it truthfully. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's why those ladies were looking in the back of the books to see who the author was when they saw those books in the store.
Yeah.
Who telling this story?
Right.
I need to see who this going to be.
Yeah.
Because that's going to dictate if I'm going to expect good things or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had a reader told me her grandson had done a Black History report because, in schools, ain't but 5 black people in Black history, right?
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X,
Sojourner Truth,
Harriet Tubman,
right? Ain't but 5 people,
and that's 4. See?
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Barack Obama,
right, and maybe Oprah, So he had done a paper on, I don't know if it was the Black Whalers. I don't remember what it was. She told me, but the teacher was blown away. And she said, well, where'd you get this information? He told her, my grandmama's Miss Bev books.
Okay? With his whole chest, too. I can see him. Right now. Oh, I love it.
I was like, I love it. Because, when you educate a woman, you educate a race. Mm-hmm. I don't know who said that. Somebody with a bigger brain than me said that, but but yeah, and then and you pass that history on. So even with this book banning and all of that, they cannot take the history that we already know from us.
Yes,
because it's up here and it's in here.
Yep.
So.
Yep, and we have to continue to tell the stories.
Right.
You're telling the stories. The new set of romance authors are telling the stories, and even the readers.
Yeah.
You know, they're telling the stories. You sit back, you know, I read this book once, and
Yeah.
it was about this, it was about that, it was about that.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth.
Book is where it's at when it comes to making sure that our legacies and our stories and our truths
Right.
are staying alive.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. Yay. Yay,
Oh, I
us.
love a book. I love a book. I love a book. I love a book. So, okay. So, a little fun moment.
All right.
Now, Miss Bev, you know, already told us, you know that you are our Beyonce, right?
I guess.
Okay. You're our Beyonce.
Okay.
So, do you remember a time when someone completely fanned out over you when they saw you?
All the
The first
time.
time?
They cry. I go places and they standing across the room and they like this. When they're crying, and I'm like, get over here. Give me a hug.
I seen you on the princess boat some years back, and I'm really a gangster, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
we
a
all
real
gangsters.
gangster, West Side gangster, you
Right.
know. And here I am standing there like, oh gosh,
You know, they.
you know.
That's why I love my readers. I mean, they do those kinds of things. Can you talk to my grandmama? So I done talked to grandmamas at sign-ins. Guy reached out to me about a month and a half ago. He's from Virginia. And he was reaching out to me on behalf of his great-grandmother. And he wanted to know if I was going to be touring or making an appearance in the area because she loved the Blessing series. And she wanted to know if she could meet me. And I told him, I said, well, unfortunately, I'm not, but I'll Zoom with her. And he said, really? I said, yeah. So me and his great-grandmother, who was 104 years old, everybody,
I love this.
had a Zoom meeting.
And grandmama was just great grandmama
Great-grandmama.
on the phone. Seeing
Yeah.
Miss Beverly Jenkins.
Yeah.
Oh,
And, you know, and
that's special.
the last book in the series will be out in October, but they had sent me some early copies. And she may not be here in October. So I put a book to her in the mail just so she could have it. But, you know, like I said, you know,
That's
I would
awesome.
not be here if it wasn't for my readers. And I tell them all the time that when I count my blessings, I count them twice. Because, you know, that's how beautiful and how wonderful. They are my gold. They pay for my mortgage. They put my child through school. They paid for my cigarettes for 30 years.
Yes, some pack of cool.
Yeah,
Huh?
you know. So, but yeah, I'm really, really appreciative of them. And they look out for me. I don't know if you know, on my Facebook page, they always say, Miss Bev, did you eat today? You know, when was the last time you did this? Or especially if I'm on deadline, you know, are you drinking enough water? Do we need to come by and make sure you okay? You know, I love them a lot.
Yep, they do. Well, listen, we've gotten to the moment in our interview where we have to do something that, it's always hard, which is do a little bit of a wrap up, right? Because we're coming to the end.
Yeah.
And I am just so appreciative that you have taken your time to come and be here with Tam Telling Tales, to come and be here with EyeCU Reading. And I am so excited to see you again at the EyeCU Reading Literary Experience,
Yeah.
powered by
I don't know what
BRAE.
I'm supposed to be doing when I'm there, but I'll show up.
Not this, because you don't have to talk this much if you don't want to. You really can do what you want because, ma'am, you're our Beyonce, right?
Oh, Lord. Okay.
So, but you know the people are going to be there. They probably have their books. They might want a little piece of signing.
Okay, all right.
They're going to
Well,
probably want to take
You know,
a picture.
I talked to Ebony on the phone. I didn't even ask her, well, what you want me to do?
You know,
I
bring you
just
some
said, yeah.
books so the people can say, you know what, I don't have that. Well, let me pick
No,
me
I
up a
ain't
copy.
bringing books. You can get a bookseller to bring books.
Okay, then.
So they
well,
can make the
listen.
money.
Okay.
I get the money from the royalty, and they get the money from the sale.
Well, if that's how you want it.
That's because I ain't bringing no books.
Okay.
I am not a self-published author. I do not have books in my trunk.
Boo. Listen, she said, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Y'all bring the books, and I'll sign them for for hours.
There it is. There
Until I
it
get
is.
tired and I'm like, I'm going
Okay.
home.
So for everybody who plans on being there, bring your books.
Bring your books and I will sign them, and bring them
sign.
all.
Okay.
Don't let your mom or your husband or your girlfriend say, oh, she ain't going to sign all them books. They don't know me.
Okay. She love y'all.
If you can buy them, I can sign them. Because books are expensive.
You know, I
And
wasn't
you
gonna
work hard
say
for your
nothing.
money. So my
But
ass
they-
better sign your books.
They do up there, don't they? But one thing I will say is, you know, a lot of the books that we do buy, if we're buying e-reads, or if you're taking advantage of things like BRAE when books become available for free,
Yeah.
then when it's time to buy a little piece of $20, $30 book,
You
go
pay more than that
ahead.
to get your nails done. Buy a book.
Okay.
Support an author.
Go ahead and support
Help
the
a sister
author.
pay a light bill.
All right. A cell phone bill or something, the Metro PCS. Something, you know? Get somebody's, you know, eyebrows arched for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, something.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
go ahead and buy that book, y'all.
Yeah.
Go ahead and buy the book. And I actually don't even just buy one book. Buy more than one book. Because why show up someplace with a whole bunch of amazing authors, right? They have all of these books and buy one.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
I have been to signings where sisters have come in with suitcases
Yes,
of my books.
that's the energy that I want the people to
You
be
know,
on.
and I've signed them all. Brenda Jackson and I were in, where were we? We were in Houston. This was years ago. And there's one thing about black romance writers, they will sign all your books. Most of us will. And we had women lined up from here to Georgia. And so the hotel manager came and he said, and it was like, we got started like at 6. It's 8 o'clock. We still signing. The hotel manager comes and he says, well, how long y'all going to be here? And Brenda and I looked at each other and looked at him. We said, well, you see how long that line is? That's how
Listen.
long we're going to be here. He said, okay, well, y'all need some water or something?
Need a little refreshment.
Bring me some water. Yeah. So yeah, I will sign.
All right. Well, you guys have heard it here on Tam Telling Tales, book banter with author Beverly Jenkins. You all make sure that you pull up to the EyeCU Reading Literary Experience powered by BRAE on Saturday, August the 23rd, 2025 at the Corner Ballpark in Detroit, Michigan. You guys, if you are outside of the city limits, go ahead and make you a hotel reservation so that you can be in the building. Bring your extra suitcase so you put your books in there. Okay, bring you some books with you so that she can sign. Okay. Okay. And so, Miss Bev, I want you to tell all of the aspiring authors out there just a little bit of advice before we go.
Okay. My first thing is finish the book. Sitting around talking about writing this book. Finish the book, because ain't nobody going to be able to read it if you don't finish it. Their first draft, do not show it to anybody. Please do not try and publish or sell your first draft. First drafts are crap. They're supposed to be. Learn, and this is an important thing, learn as much as you can about the business of writing. Learn how to do a query later. Learn how to upload, how to download. Learn how to do the marketing. Learn how to do all of the stuff. If you're going to be self-published, learn everything you need to know about that. If you're going to be traditional published, learn everything you need to learn about that. And don't give up.
I like
You know,
it.
it's hard out here in these publishing streets. But your story can only be told by you. And there is somebody who wants to read that, because there's a market for everything out there. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So depending on what you're writing, don't give up. Look for people who are going to support you, because not everybody going to support you. Get you a good editor. Don't be letting your mama or Ray and them be your editor. Pay somebody. That's about it. Oh, and don't let somebody else's success make you feel less,
Yeah.
because they on their path and you on yours. So
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Well, listen, you guys, I am Tam Telling Tales. You can be sure to check me out so that you can see interviews like this all the time on all social media platforms at the name Tam Telling Tales. Now, Miss Bev, do you want to let the people know where they can find you?
They can find me at my Facebook page. Don't get the brand page where we do the book club was got hacked. It's now doing porn, so you don't want to go there.
Don't go there.
Yeah. But I do have there's a Fans of Beverly Jenkins page. There's a regular profile Beverly Jenkins page. I also have a website, beverlyjenkins.net. I'm also on Blue Sky. I love Blue Sky. Blue Sky. Blue Sky is what Twitter used to be before Elmo bought it, or Elon bought it.
You said it right the first time.
I know. God, we hate him.
Ooh.
Anyway, so, holler at me. I have a newsletter that I wish I was a little bit more focused on it, but, you might get it like every 3 months, once a quarter. And you can sign up for free to find out what's going on, where I'm going to be. You can sign up for it on my website. So, and for all of you who out there who have bought my books and been, supportive for 30 years, thank y'all so much. Thank you so very much. So, and for those who have not, doors are always open. Come join us.
There it is. So listen, we are about to head out of here. We're going to do our outro together, and then we'll be done with this thing, ma'am.
Okay.
So the outro is really easy, right?
Okay.
I say the first part, I say, I'm Tam, I'm telling tales, and then you say, read a book.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
All right. You guys, I'm Tam, I'm telling tales.
Read a book.
I got it.
Tam Telling Tales.
I got it.
Tam Telling Tales.
I got it.
Tam Telling Tales.
I got it. Tongue twister. Say it real fast one time.
Tam Telling Tales.